everyone, it's Amy Shahinsky with Fun with Stamping, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Alberta, Canada. And today I want to share with you this card, and it's a technique using the Gilded Leaf Embellishment, but it's using our Tombow glue. Super quick and easy to do, doesn't take a lot of stuff. So let's get started. Here we have our card base, and it's the Granny Apple Green, and it measures your typical 5.5 by 8.5, and then scored at 4 1/4. Then we have a layer of Whisper White, actually Basic White. I have to learn to start saying that, Basic White. And it is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And you can see there's a hole in the middle because I needed a layer. So I just cut it out. So this measures 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then we have a layer of the Granny Apple Green, and this is the technique one that we're gonna do with the glue. And it's 5 1/4 by 4. Then we have the Sierra Sand, and it's with the stitched square shapes. And I think this is the second largest one. And then that's gonna get matted behind that 2 1/4 and 2 1/4 white. That we actually cut from the middle, save on some paper. And then I wanted some strips to tear. So these are just out of my scrap bin, but I always make mine a little bit longer so I don't wanna see any missing. So I always go longer than shorter. And so I bet these are about 5.5 and maybe 1 1/4, 1.5 inches. And we're gonna be ripping these. So those are all your bits and pieces. So let's start gluing. Let's start that because it does have to dry a bit. So I'm working on my silicone craft sheet, and I'm opening up the bottom end of our glue. So it has more of a smudger, I call it. And I'm just gonna create a line, squeezing my glue. And it's gonna stay white, but it'll dry clear, and it dries tacky. It doesn't like dry hard. There's a tackiness to it, which works with the gilded flakes. So I'm just gonna paint this on like that. And it's gonna stay white, but it'll dry. It does take a little bit of time, but it's not gonna dry all the way. I left one of these out accidentally overnight, and it was still tacky the next day for me to use this technique on. So that's a good thing. So I'll put that offside to dry because I did one. And here it is. The white is gone. It is still glossy, and it's definitely tacky. So we bring in our gilded flakes. And again, I have mine in my little Ziploc Rubbermaid container. And I'm just gonna push it in and then brush off the extra. Now I saw something, if you don't have this handy brush, Stampin' Up! Sells their sponges. You could also use one of our Stampin' Up! Sponges to get it off. Remember, save all the bits and pieces because those are gonna go right back into the bin. And see, I like that look. It's uneven. It looks like it was just streaked on, which it was. So there we go. Really quick and easy once it dries. So then you're gonna tear. How much? It all depends. You know, a little bit, a lot. They're just gonna be strips on your card. So just like that. So once you have them torn, I have my Pacific Point, I have my Sierra Sand, and then here is a strip of my tear tape, but I made it really thin. I cut it in half because the ribbon that I'm using, which is the white crinkled seam binding, it's thin, and I didn't want to have any overhanging, and then my envelope will stick to it, and then that's not good. So when I do this ruched technique, I don't cut my ribbon because I don't want to not have enough. So I just leave it on its spool, and I usually take a pair of scissors to kind of help push it in, and I twist and I turn and I ruche it up, and covering all the tear and tape with ribbon, just like that. Then we tear it off, or cut it off, I should say. Fold it over, and then we're gonna glue it onto the back of the white with a hole, because we're not gonna see that hole because that's a layer. And I use my liquid glue. Layer that on there. And I already have some Stampin' Dimensionals, so I'm gonna take those off and put that onto my card base of the Granny Apple Green. Here. And then my Expression, it's a birthday card. It's actually from this set, Happy Thoughts, and this is on page, let me double check, page 28 of the new mini catalog. And I'm not sure if you guys know this little symbol, it is $1 million. So when you're a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you sell $1 million, which, wow, wouldn't that be great? You get to create your own stamp set. So this one is by Jackie, if I'm pronouncing her last name, Boulis. She hit her $1 million mark, and she had to go to the home office in Utah and create her own stamp set. So I could tell you a million reasons why I love being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, but this would be a wow one. This would be really cool to create your own stamp set. So then I have my happy birthday, and I've mounted it on my white 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and I'm just gonna put that here. And then I'm gonna use the gilded, I think these are the faceted gems. They're in the main catalog. And again, I always like to put 3 whenever I'm doing anything, because I think it's feng shui. 3 looks better, or odds look better. I go something like that. There we go. And there is our Gilded Leaf Embellishment done with our multi-purpose glue. And I'm gonna post this on, I'm part of a group called the Color Inkspiration. It's a color challenge. And I'm gonna go ahead and post this on the page today because these are the colors that they chose this month. I think it's Color Inspiration 93. So this is just another fun way to use your Gilded Leaf Embellishment. And I hope you guys all have this. It's really a great, fun tool and super easy and quick. Thanks, ladies. Have a great day.